Over the last few decades, fashion culture has changed drastically, with the introduction of streetwear in the 90s as an inaccessible subgenre of fashion to its mainstream appeal and huge popularity today. In this video, I'll be explaining how the subreddit r/streetwear influences adoption of streetwear into popular fashion and why it was so important. Welcome to how r/streetwear changed fashion. Before we can explain streetwear in today's fashion culture, we first have to go back to its origins, the 90s surf skate scene of Los Angeles, California. Stussy, Santa Cruz, Girl Skateboards and Thrasher are all brands founded in the 80s and 90s LA and arguably formed half of that era's streetwear. The other half was New York's hip-hop scene, with the likes of the Notorious Big, Nas and Tupac leading this half of 90s fashion. Timberland's denim and oversized controlled the New York hip-hop streetwear scene. Over the years, both skate and music culture has greatly evolved and developed streetwear into what it is today, with the introduction of more skate brands and artists' closer relationships with these brands. A notable mention to the evolution of streetwear is the bling trends of the 90s and early 2000s, with the likes of Burberry, Gucci and Fendi, as well as other luxury brands regularly appearing in music videos. Their scarcity and cost made them all the more appealing, as well as their often close attachment to the rappers. This love for this genre of fashion, because of its scarcity and cost, carried on to form today's hypebeast style. I'm skipping a good portion of the evolution of streetwear, however I don't think it's too relevant to how our streetwear influenced fashion overall, so I'll save that for another video. Up until recently, streetwear had been exclusive to mostly skaters and some musicians. However, this was all about to change. In 2016, streetwear had its first initiation to mainstream fashion. Off-White, Supreme, Yeezy, Bape and Fear of God were all now being worn by the masses, as well as skate brands like Stussy and Kith. During this period of 2016, an emerging subreddit called r/streetwear was getting traction. It started in 2011 and had almost no viewership or interaction until 2014, where its audience grew progressively until its first spike in early 2016. Before r/streetwear, fashion was shared in other social media formats, none of which had a community the size of r/streetwear, or in adverts, which were always very biased and didn't give a good representation of outfits. There was an argument that the subreddit was merely a product of streetwear's success, however I would disagree with this. Even if the subreddit's initial growth was, in the years following, its audience has skyrocketed to millions of users with thousands of posts per day. It would be difficult to believe this much fashion content and innovation, all based around one genre, could not have a great effect on fashion overall. After r/streetwear, its audience had a way into the gate-kept and sometimes even hostile community. It allowed you to see everyday people in clothes that you could afford. The "What did you wear today" tag meant there were thousands of outfits you could look through for inspiration. Without r/streetwear, fashion may have been influenced far less by streetwear, with most people leaning towards safer and more basic alternatives. Instead, a large majority of the current trends in fashion stem from streetwear, with the likes of A$AP Rocky combining sneaker culture, luxury and streetwear, very probably inspired by the diverse outfits of r/streetwear. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.